Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh,
Welcome back, Dave.
Welcome back.
Welcome. I feel like I've just landed, and I'm watching in
Ship just
Larry's
came in.
TV. There's some replays of Hulk Hogan going. We had a bad week for losing for losing folks. Started last week with Connie Francis, and just today is Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne, Chuck
Malcolm
Mangione,
Malcolm
Chuck
Jamal
Mangione,
Warner.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
It's been
Wow.
a tragic week.
Wow, bad week for people that we learn to.
Yeah.
It's like we know them. We don't,
Yeah.
but we
grew up
do.
with 'em.
Poor Malcolm Warner. He was
grew up with
he
'em.
was yeah.
You
All of them. So our prayers go out to the families and
And to all the
we
folks
should-
we lost this
yeah.
past week. I
and
lost my chaplain last week, so yeah, it's been a rough week.
within
Yeah,
your
my
chapter of the
chapter,
VA,
my
yeah.
chapter chaplain passed away. He struggled. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to share this if you don't mind. We always talk about the woman who called 988
Yeah.
on her husband. Well, this was the veteran who. That was about a year and a half ago. We
Yeah.
got him into some
Wow.
housing, and he.
Because our two guests,
fill 'em in.
a year and a half ago, 3 years ago, 988 was enacted, and we had one of Justin's members of his group was suffering from dementia,
He had dementia,
and
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, and he was getting a little fresh with his wife, and was more than she could handle, and she really was feeling threatened, and she couldn't think of anything, but she called 988, and within a couple of minutes, unmarked police cars showed up in front of the house. There's a knock on the door, and there's a couple of polite counselors there to look at the situation and assess the situation. I think that they take him away
Yeah,
for some
yeah.
treatment.
He was told by the counselor on the phone that he was going to be counseled, so it went without any major incident. And then we got him into a nursing home. He wound up in a nursing home, and then he actually went to the Cape, where he passed away last week. He just kind of gave up, I think. But what a great young man! He was a Vietnam vet, and I met him about 7 years ago in a Lowe's department, in a Lowe's lumber place. And we wear our caps, and I always talk about that. We wear a cap not so that people know we serve, but so other veterans can find each other. And it was a great way for me to meet him, because if he didn't have a cap on, saying U.S. Navy, and I didn't have one of my sub hats on, we would have just passed each other in the aisle and kept on going. So for all you veterans out there, you wear the cap so others can find you, and I think that's great.
I like that.
And we have two great veterans here, long-serving fellows, and like yourself, Justin, they kept on top of the water by choice.
We let them stay up there.
Well,
They were never our target.
It's not for sissies, I'll tell you. It's not for sissies.
No, I
And
love those guys.
Rob Potter, we've met a while ago. Want to introduce yourself and your partner, please?
Of course, yeah. So first, thanks for having us on tonight.
Sure,
So
sure,
Captain Rob Potter, just last week marked the 1-year anniversary of my own retirement and change of command. So I'll give you a quick background on myself, then I'll introduce my colleague Jacob Linder. So I'm a 99 grad from the Coast Guard Academy. Shortly after graduating from the academy, I was underway on a boat, found that boat life wasn't really for me, so I was grateful to make a switch over into aviation, so flew Coast Guard.
Oh, from bad to worse.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So no, naval aviator. Yep.
Oh boy, that's a wolfie move.
So no, flew H-60 helicopters for about 22 years.
Bless you.
So it was a great time. Flew in every corner of the country, internationally, from the Bahamas all the way to Alaska.
Wow.
And that great time, great stations. And part of my journey through the Coast Guard was also out of the cockpit. So I did several, like what we call them, staff tours. So I did one tour in the Senate where I was a liaison, worked with all the senators to make sure that what the Coast Guard's leadership wanted. I worked with the Senate to make sure that we were also meeting national needs, state needs, etc. And then also worked in our own HR department. So I worked in OPM. So for everybody that gets orders, I was one of the guys behind the scenes signing the orders. So that was a blessing and a curse sometimes, but great position. And then did a year at Harvard as a national security fellow, where we dove in to try to figure out a lot of my group put together a lot of effort to work on military innovation. The flash to bang, how do we get what the soldiers needs and take those ideas and bring them from the battlefield back to industry and vice versa. And I was lucky enough to finish as the commanding officer of Air Station Cape Cod, where I met this fine gentleman next to me, so Master Chief Jacob Linder. He was our command Master Chief for the 3 years that I was there. So,
Jacob, thanks for coming in tonight,
Hey,
buddy.
thanks for having me, Greg. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a great voice, so just speak into the microphone and you're doing good.
All right, excellent. Yeah, Jacob Linder, like Rob, or I should say Captain said, I retired from the Coast Guard after 27 and a half years. I was always his leader, so I led and retired a week before he did. I had to show him how it was done. But I flew in the H-65 helicopter as a crew member and a mechanic, and I was blessed to retire as a Command Master Chief under Rob Potter, and had a blessed career, and I got to help a lot of people along the way, and stumbled after the fact, and that's kind of why we're here, to help the veterans figure out a way to not stumble, because I thought I knew it all being the senior enlisted person, of a base, and I walked off, with my head held high, and reality was a swift kick. So glad to be here. And,
Well, and thank you for sharing your knowledge, because it's knowledge that all veterans, even veterans that have been out for a while, should know, because a lot of them, as we found out, don't know that a VSO is a Veteran Services Officer that's there to help you.
They are.
But we're gonna cover all that, I'm sure, during the night. But I want to talk to you about the excitement of the Coast Guard. You guys don't go out when the sun shines, does it? I mean, you're
Sometimes, but that's rarely when we're needed.
Yes, yeah. So you practice in that weather,
Of course.
of course.
How
Of course.
how ironic this is, though. I was on the water Wednesday. Okay, I went out on the boat near New Bedford.
On top of the water.
I was above the water with this boat.
Good
It was
place.
on-
Yeah, good place.
I wasn't on a boat. It's on a boat, but it's a different kind of boat. And I had the radio signal on. There was a gentleman who fell off a kayak on one of the rivers, I think in Dennis or something. And Coast Guard cutter was the Coast Guard helicopter was being called in. Excuse me. About 10 minutes later, I saw the Coast Guard helicopter coming in, and he was coming up looked like out of Newport, heading up the. And
Yeah, next weekend, Wolfie. The helicopter just landed.
Yeah.
The helicopter landed.
And it was
all
great to
break-
see you guys. I mean, I actually saw you guys in action coming up to do a save on the river. I can't remember which river it was, but they were looking for the guy who fell out of the kayak. And it's weird. I'm sitting here listening to these guys, and I saw it in action.
In action.
Wednesday for real.
Wow.
Quite a
Wolfie
thing.
just came in. Wolfie, I want you to
Like the
introduce
wind.
these two
Coast Guard
ex-coasties.
guys?
Yeah.
They made room for my granddaughter, right?
Yeah. And we're just commiserating about their time in the service, and how they only flew in the sunshine and nice days. And
Exactly
when
right.
it was raining, they called somebody else. But we had a great day Saturday. We sorry to interrupt you guys, but for a couple of minutes we got to talk about the. Why don't we wait until after the break? Larry, why don't we take the first break first, and we'll be back after these messages. I'm surprised you don't know Nancy. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Greg Brasso, your host of Veterans Voice Radio, and we're just commiserating a little bit about the excitement and the success of Saturday's event.
Sixth, right? Sixth.
Our sixth event
Sixth event.
in Quincy was held without a snag. Everybody showed up on time. The Quincy and North Quincy ROTC kids
the Rocks.
were tremendous.
Amazing again.
They set up 150 tables and 300 chairs in the
And
in
tents.
the space of in
Tents and
They were
cooked
helping
and
yeah,
Yeah.
and then later they cooked and they served, and then later they took down the tables and chairs and piled it all up. So the event ended at 2 o'clock, and by 3 o'clock, everything was picked up. The Quincy Park Department, what a joy they were to work with. We had boxes and boxes of food that we unloaded, that Wolfie and I collected over 2 days.
That was 2 trailers of food, 800 pounds of meat.
Yeah, and that we distributed with all these boxes. And as soon as we emptied the boxes, the city of Quincy was coming around with their little machine to pick them up and throw them away, to get them out of the way. So as we went, there was no piles of rubbish or trash, and it was just a bunch of us guys that were cooking
The
and
goon squad.
yeah, the goon squad.
That's what we call them.
Yeah, and nobody's trained, nobody knows what to do, but they just get the job done. They get the job done. A couple of guys, a few guys cooked.
8 grills.
Good-
We had 8 grills going at the same time.
Did we really?
Yeah.
And I gotta thank you to Peter McPhail and his brother Phil, even though Phil is not a real person, but Peter, thank you very much for helping me out with the vendors. I had a brain freeze. I kept yelling at him, Phil, and he goes, who are you calling? I said, you, Peter. But Peter McPhail did an amazing job, and he also with the ROTC kids. What a great job getting the vendors in, dropping and going. Just everything ran like a
Divine
clock.
was with him too. Dennis was with him too.
Yeah, and Wolfie, your buddy Richie, was astronomical. Cooking and
He ran out of ice. He just ran out and grabbed ice and packed everything
and
he said.
slaving and was there to the very end. Help with the setup, help with the cooking, help with anything else that needed help, and then broke it down. So,
And that's and Richie and the goon squad. That's loading from Kim's garage for 2 days to fill the trailers up and the U-Haul, and then afterwards it was 2 days to unload that. So Greg and I put a solid weekend just set up and take down, let alone the rest.
it was.
So you better have a damn good time.
Well, nobody left hungry, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And no veteran left there that wasn't seen by whoever they needed. I mean, there was, the Parkinson's Pavilion was a great event with the people from Parkinson's.
It was
and-
full.
Yeah, there were people were stopping in there, so every booth you went by, there were veterans stopping
The
in.
VA had nine
Nine
tables. EOVS had 4 or 5 tables.
They had local VSOs there.
And
So it was just great.
Quincy VSOs had a couple of tables there, and it
And the
was,
weather was perfect.
Oh,
Finally,
yes.
we had rain last year. The year before was 95 degrees, so we finally hit it on the number with. And then the VA brought out their bus with some of our veterans from the VA.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That were in real wheelchairs, and very fortunate. Pageant Field is very handicap accessible.
Absolutely.
They have beautiful asphalt walkways around the.
And even though they were in the
venue.
motorized ones, and one guy only could use his mouth to move
Yeah.
the chair, I mean, he was able to navigate pretty much the whole entire time. So.
And there were no matter where they went, there were always somebody looking to take care of them.
Oh yeah, their caregivers were great.
You know, there was 1,000 vets,
Yeah.
and they just look like, what can we do? What can we get you? Can we get you water? Can we get you anything? So it was a feeling of camaraderie
Absolutely.
and peer-to-peer contact and just feeling good. We haven't. I don't think, except for me and Wolfie going at it a little bit, I don't think we've had a significant fight in 6 years.
Oh no, we did. We had the guys with the swords. That year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Where were they from? They're
Ukrainians.
Ukrainians with the swords
We
and shields.
thought it
on
was a
them.
car wreck when they started. I'm a first aid guy. I would grab my first aid kit when running over to see. I thought a car went into the crowd. But the thing I'm happiest about is the Natick Labs didn't bring that airplane because they were sending me up.
Did they? No, they specifically said that they left it home because
Yeah.
unforeseen circumstances. We had the Natick Labs there. You know, you were talking about research, about
Yeah.
what you need and stuff. And I don't know if the Natick Labs researches for the Coast Guard. Do they
A
do?
little bit.
Oh,
We got a complaint about some gear from my granddaughter, so I told the guys. They said they would get on it.
oh, Jesus.
So
right to
they-
the top.
Yeah, they do, it's mostly Army, but like the bulletproof vest, all that stuff, that's standard. Tell what the Native Labs is, that's so, and said, that table, they had like 5 tables, they had all the meals, they had all the clothes for hot and cold, the bulletproof vest, everything that happens good in uniforms and food comes out of the Native Labs.
Yeah, it's all
Really,
research.
And they were amazing, they're caring, wonderful people.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, they probably do some cold weather gear really, it's a great place to visit. If you ever want, we can, they want us to come up again for another day to show us around a little bit, and they just dedicated a $75 million training facility for Jared Monty. That Jared was a Medal of
Medal of
Honor,
Honor,
Medal
yeah.
of Honor recipient
I'd say 2016 or 8, somewhere in there.
from here in the area.
Taunton, Berkeley area.
Raynham or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like
And the area that they dedicated to them is actually, they put everyone with all the monitors on them, and then they put them under stressful situations and test to see what happens. So they didn't invite us.
No,
They said,
We
just
ju-
take a look and get out of the room before something happens to you. So it's simulated, it's like Disney World, they can simulate anything, it had the house, the buildings, the sand, to go in.
Yeah.
And they put them under stressful things, they run them on a stress
and
test.
they have a big
TV.
screen that's 2 stories tall and about 50, 60 feet long, and there's bad guys that jump up and pretend to shoot,
Wow.
and the army guys have guns that shoot the bad guys. So it's a big video game.
It's like a 3D video
It
game.
is.
Yeah, it's real.
It is.
But
It is
they have
exactly.
them monitor them, so they're testing at what level of strength. You know me, I don't know what I'm
The
talking
stress
about.
levels.
Yeah,
Stress.
the stress levels to see when they start
Strength,
functioning.
stress. It's about the same. Both stir words.
Yeah, it's what do you call it stuff? So they see at what level that you're not functioning well, so that becomes part of the whole program.
So-
it's fascinating. So they're looking for a couple of Coast Guard guys to run around.
All right.
Yeah.
Next time.
Ready.
Next
I'll follow
time.
his lead.
Yeah.
So tell us, Rob, since you've been out, what have you learned about being out?
Oh man, where do I start? So it was funny before here. Jacob and I
Oh.
got together and we're looking at kind of different things to talk about tonight, and I think that's what we're hoping to share. Is some of the things that we kind of learned over the years. Now that we've been out a year, what did we learn? Kind of walk through the process, kind of starting from the beginning part. So I think one of the first things that I learned was really, making the decision to retire. So both Jake and I are well over 20 years.
Yeah.
So we were in the retirement window. And I think one of the things I learned especially was making the decision to retire is a very personal decision for each member. I don't think there's a rule that you can follow. I don't think there's a cookie cutter that you can, stamp on something to say, yes, this is what I'm gonna do. There's so many factors that come into it regarding your financial status, how healthy you are, what you want to do, where your family is. So it's really a very personal decision to figure it out.
And do you get any help making that decision, or do you have to? Is it a self inside? It seems like when it's time, it's time.
That's kind of was for me. Like I kind of knew it was time to retire. I think I just had to have the courage to follow my gut and my heart to know this is the right thing to do for both me and my family.
And were you pressured nicely? Were you arm twisted to stay in for another 4 years, or did they let you go? You're kind of too old, anyways.
Wait a minute, though. He said you graduated 99?
99 from the academy, yeah.
He's not that old.
I know.
I graduated a lot younger than that, or older, I should say.
I have sweaters that are older than that.
No, well, thank you.
Justin and I both said 99.
No, the good part, I think, at least for us, there was always an opportunity afterwards, which was great. So there was, when you get to the higher levels of any organization, you get known, different folks know you, and you kind of get semi-recruited to do different jobs. So I felt that there was still place for me in the service, even after 20 plus years. And I know you were definitely getting recruited to go different, for more leadership positions.
Sure.
So thankfully, for both of us, I think that there was still a place for us to serve. But it just looking at really our families for the most
Yes.
part, I know that was really the driving factor for both of us. It
And
was-
both of you had stations all over the hemisphere.
Correct,
And-
yes.
And so just when you get settled,
Time to go.
time to go.
Time to go.
Wow.
Yeah, I think as far as moving goes, and this probably is with a lot of folks, by the time my oldest daughter was 11, she'd been to, golly, I want to say like 45, 46 states. So
Did she keep you as a father?
so far,
Yeah, she
So
did.
far.
We're
But-
gonna commend her for it.
yeah, but no, that was the one thing, and I wanted to make sure that going into high school that, the kids had a place to really to kind of grow some roots, to establish themselves
Sure.
in the programs.
Yeah.
Because bouncing in high school is tough.
Yeah.
And they were so gracious to give so much to me growing up. It was my turn to give back to them, to give them that stability, which I think the kids, they earned it, right? They deserve it.
So now you've retired into the Plymouth area.
I have.
Jacob, you've done the same.
I've retired on Cape Cod in the West Barnstable area.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yes.
very nice. And you have the same, a similar reason to Rob. Time for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the family. I could have given the Coast Guard a little bit more, but now it's starting to take away from the family. We started a little bit late, so I had some younger kids. My oldest is getting ready to go into high school, and so at what point does it? Who cares if I keep going? And so family was definitely number one, and we actually fell in love with New England, especially the Cape Cod area. So why
Great.
mess up a good thing?
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
it's been great.
Well, it's a nice area. It's a nice area to grow up. It's a good area for education,
Yes.
and one of the things me and Wolfie were talking about were the floods that they have in Texas, and they want to live in an environment with little or no protection, little or no government intervention, no FEMA, no this, no that. Yeah, and then who they call? Yeah,
Yeah.
the Coast Guard. But up here we have a lot of those benefits around. We have VSOs.
Yes.
Yes.
We have help, but the difficulty is knowing where to go to find it,
It is.
and not being shy in asking.
No, that's one of the things too is as soon as you make the decision to retire or separate from the service, that is pretty much, that's like your start, right? You gotta start doing something. At that point, you really have to start thinking about getting your medical record together for the VA claims. You have to start thinking about, all right, what do I want to do next? Because it's one of the especially if you come in your teens, the military says, where do you want to go? Here's a list, pick one, and then we'll kind of pick it for you.
Yeah.
Right, so you're, for 30 years, right, 30, 20 years, you are given a short list of places and different jobs to do, where somebody exterior will sign it on the orders and give them to you, and then you execute them. Well, now, as soon as you get out, the world is
You
your
don't have
oyster,
anybody.
right?
Right.
There is no more list, there is
Good,
no way.
good news, bad news.
Right, yeah.
You can
either
do
way.
anything.
It is, it is.
But you don't have and a lot of help oftentimes navigating that course. But at this point, Larry, why don't we take our second break here, and we'll be back after halftime here on the Veterans Voice with some great guys. 55 years combined with the Coast Guard, protecting our high seas. But these guys only went out in the nice weather. We're like, we're like, because the helicopters are never needed when it's windy, or rainy, or snowy, or a hurricane, or a typhoon. So I'm glad you're safe. And why don't you take it away, Larry, and we'll be back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody. Greg Rossi, your host of Veterans Voice Radio. Before we get to tonight's show, Saturday saw the 6th annual Veterans Music Festival in Quincy. WATD's Charles Fulmer reports.
The 6th annual Veterans Music Festival was held in Quincy on Saturday, and this year a special focus was put on the service dogs and canine units that serve our veterans and our country.
Dogs are, they're great pets, they're great companions, but they also are extremely intelligent in terms of their ability to relate to individuals who might be going through various issues, through whether it's post-traumatic stress or even to the level of having some physical ailments. Dogs can be trained to really be kind of a partner that helps not only a veteran's mental status and mental, health, but also their physical ailments.
Norfolk County Sheriff Patrick McDermott tells WHCD News that the different dogs that are trained to help people can have enormous benefits not only to mental health but to physical well-being.
Whether it's a service dog that helps a veteran who is hearing impaired or sight impaired, or even has medical conditions that need relative alerts, as simple as even a dog that can detect AFib on a heart. These dogs are extremely valuable, not only, like I said, as a companion, but really as a service dog and as a partner on making sure these veterans are safe.
A special tribute organized by the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office was held during the festival to honor police dogs, service dogs, comfort dogs, and canine units killed in action. From Quincy, this is Charles Fulmer reporting for 95.9 WATD.
Thank you. That was Charles Fulmer talking about the show. And on the line we have a good old friend, Anthony O'Brien. Has never missed a show. He's been to every one of our shows, and him and his boys were absent this week, but Anthony was kind enough to come down. Anthony, are you out there?
Yes, sir. Hey, Greg. Thanks to you and your team, and I'm at the position of attention, giving you a standing ovation for the job done on Saturday by your whole
Turn
team.
yellow up.
Well, thanks, Anthony. You know how to judge them. You know that you've been there for many of them that we do. And what do you think was the most beneficial thing from Saturday, Anthony?
I'll tell you, it honestly, brother, it's a trick question because it's across the board. I mean, and I'm especially calling, brother, not as a fellow leader in the veteran community, but as a vet who goes to a lot of this stuff. And this is A plus. Every year. What I love is how you say it's going to be better next year. It's going to be better next year, and a lot of us are like, yeah, whatever. How do you top it? And then you do, and then you top it. And it's everybody contributing. It's your volunteers, and I can't say enough about the presentation. I hit every table at least once. The services, the benefits, the VA, the programs, and then all the other stuff. The food, incredible. The band was fabulous. And just I had to talk to at least 100 vets, and I've been in contact with a couple other hundreds, sending out emails about some of the information. Every time I go, I learn something new. Just when I think I know everything, I got a pocket full of business cards.
Yeah.
It's amazing what your program's doing, and we just can't thank you enough about it. From one vet to one of the best support groups for veterans that's out there in this region, if not New England and beyond. Thank you, A++.
Well, Anthony, I thank you. Anthony is a veteran in his own rights and has seen several deployments, and now he's gracious enough to share his experiences. And Anthony, you really are helpful because you're helping vets to reacclimate back into civilian life, which is kind of the subject that we're talking about here. That most have transitioned okay, but as you know, Anthony, some have some troubles.
Without question, brother. I mean, some of us, combat vets, seen a lot. And went out on more, went out on other days besides sunny days. We had a few good sunny days, but there were other days that were a little darker. And I try to use as many personally as a vet, my benefits and services and programs as much as I can, and I push that out to the guys. And I know Wolfie says it all the time. You do too, brother. And that is a lot of the guys don't know. A lot of the gals don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
Or they didn't get it. I don't know how many times you had to tell me something, and like all of a sudden, bing,
Yep.
the light went on. I was like, okay, I got it now. Just because I just heard it from the wrong angle previously. And can't thank you enough about that. Your dedication to this cause is off the charts.
Well, brother, it's for veterans like you that I get up here every week and do the show. So I thank you, Tony. I love you like you're my long lost brother, and you always have a place in our heart, and always have a place in the show.
We were happy
Well-
to see you, and we love you. I don't know why, but we love you. But we missed the two knuckleheads. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Hey,
They got to
hugs,
be there
kisses,
next year
and
to
high
sing
fives.
again.
Hugs, kisses, and high fives to everybody in the room except the two Coast Guard.
Hugs and kisses to everybody in the room except for the two Coast Guard.
You'd be still sitting home, Tony, if they didn't get you there. You would have to
Roger
swim the
that,
whole
guys.
way.
Have fun.
I
Good
think he
job.
did swim
All
the whole
right,
way.
Tony.
He probably did.
Yes,
All right,
Anthony.
see ya.
Yes, we'll see you, Anthony. That's Anthony O'Brien. He's a
He's the best.
SEAL Team 6 guy, and
Wow.
he downplays everything, but he's out there hustling and just working. He's working with the VA. I think he's in transportation or something. He's always
He's always helping. He really is.
he's always doing something. And
Rock star.
Tony's got 2 sons that he takes around,
He called them the knuckleheads.
and
It's great.
they sing a wonderful rendition of the national anthem.
That's excellent.
But you know, he did make a point, and that's what we were talking about off air, is about how that transition from retirement or leaving the military into civilian life, and how important that is. So,
Sure, because he's had 5 or 6 tours of duty.
Yeah.
SEAL Team 6 guy.
He's probably, he's seen a lot.
He's seen the worst of the worst.
There's no one, he's the best to help everybody out because he understands. that
He's the
everybody-
first one in line.
But it's also not just the combat guys; it's the guys that weren't combat. They're transitioning after how many years? 32 years, 30 years
Yeah.
of being in the military, which is very structured, and all of a
Very much
sudden,
so.
Yeah.
you know, unlike what they experienced, you know, we would just open the door and you go home.
Well,
So,
that's
there's a
why
new system now.
I cherished my time at Veterans Upward Bound when I was working for UMass Boston, because the Veterans Upward Bound program was designed to help veterans with 10 years in, 15 years, 20 years in, get back into college life. What's college life going to be?
Yep.
How can I get up? What are the kids going to be like?
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta, you know, I'm so much older than they are. Going back, so feeling out of place is maybe a bit of a barrier. But Veterans Upward Bound really helped in that transition. It's too bad they didn't give it more while you were in the service.
Yeah, it goes back to, when you transition, you got to find out, a good mentor of mine said it boils down to 2 things. You got to find the where, and you got to find the what. Well, for us, we knew where the where was,
Yeah.
and now we got to find the what. And this is where we went on different paths. So the what for us, I kind of broke down, in my mind anyway, was, all right, do I want to do a full-time job, get back into the full-time market again, or possibly do something more part-time? So, and then the second part of that is, do I want to stay more local and kind of help my own community, or do I want to go more national, right? And kind of get look for a big Fortune 500 company or whatever it might be. So my path was, I knew the where, now I had to find the what. So first I was looking at part-time jobs, because bouncing from community to community to community, I wanted to get more involved in my own community. I wanted to give back a little bit more. So I ended up doing a part-time, I do a lot of volunteer work, and also doing a part-time job where I teach at a local community college. Where Jacob, on the other hand, he took more of a full-time job and is crushing it where he is.
Where are you working now, Jacob?
So I work for the Federal Aviation Administration as an
Very nice.
aviation safety inspector.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
With your experience with Coast Guard, with the engines and the helicopter engines, perfect transition. Perfect.
The military, no matter what service, they train you so well to do these amazing tasks, right? And
Yeah.
so
Very much so.
being
Yeah.
able to leave the service and harness all of that training, and that's where not going at it alone is really important, and having those outreach programs that can help you get lined up for the jobs that match what, not only what you want to do, but what, the government's already paid for you to do. I got a very nice job with the federal government based all on education and skills that I didn't pay a single dime for.
Great. Isn't that terrific?
It is.
You deserve it. You signed your name. You put your life on the line. I don't know how many times you were out when it was raining, and I'm sure it was many. just training flips me out the way you guys do it. I love it. I love it. It's great. It's great having you guys, and it's great having Wolfie's granddaughter as
Yeah,
a near
they
general
really paved the
on
way.
the ocean.
The general, she's a general in the Coast Guard. She started as a general.
She started as a general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
only one. That's excellent.
yeah, it works out
No,
fine.
but she just took command of a 87-foot cutter,
Yeah,
correct?
in the base.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, we call her Thuggerina and her sister Thuggerella, so it's not a big leap for her. It's a lot safer for her out in Alaska and Canada and Russia than it is at home with her sister. so she's much better. But you all took the wind out of my sails. I always say to my friends when they retire, fire or police or the military, I said, for 30 years I paid for your training. If you don't go help people that training, I want my money back. So see, you're already out there helping, so you just saved some money.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And with that, they're going to write Wolfie a check any minute now during the break. We appreciate their kindness, but why don't we take it away here for the final break on this week's Veterans Voice with life is transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, transitional life. Where are we going? So take it away, lad. We'll be back after these messages. Every week here in the Veterans Voice, we talk about some sort of mental health and problems, suicide.
Just tell you off air what you just said. That's the most important. What you have him on here for, that you created the whole thing for, what you just said. Off air. Don't tell anyone.
No, no.
We'll
It's
keep
our
it,
secret.
we'll keep it quiet, but go ahead, guys.
I'll turn it to Jacob.
Well, yes, just, some of the things Rob and I really wanted to share, and, something that I went through is I spent the last 5 years as a Command Master Chief helping people find that help and being the one to help people, and I walked off the stage and tried to go it alone, and I failed, and it really took another friend of mine to kind of tell me, you're going to call home base, and I did, and they got me the mental health and the support that I needed.
Wow.
And it was just really bizarre that I was so good at helping people get the help they needed, and I couldn't help myself and my own family. So, for all the veterans out there, whether you are getting ready to leave, you left 20 years ago, it's not something you ever do by yourself. There are so many amazing organizations out there. My wife and I volunteer for Heroes in Transition on the Cape, which is a phenomenal organization, and just paying it forward. And it is just, don't go it alone. Have a battle buddy. Rob, I used to call him Captain, now I call him Rob. He's my battle buddy.
Yeah.
But we've both taken advantage of these, and going at it alone is the quickest way to fail, and I almost failed in a really bad way if it wasn't for other organizations.
It's funny, we have one of our buddies from home base, Jake McCaffrey. Yeah, Jakey was there over the weekend. He tried to go alone, and for 2 or 3 years, he couldn't do it anymore, and alcohol was getting to him.
Yes.
And he had a significant problem, and he shared it on the year. But his time with home base saved him, and he now works for home base
That's
for
awesome.
5 years.
No, that's
Paying it
excellent.
forward, that's great.
Yeah, and he talks about it and how dedicated he is and what a good kid he is, and thankfully he's feeling much better, and he's in an outreach situation, so he's using his skills, and we appreciate it, and we appreciate the fact that just the fact of going away and being away from home is kind of stressful, is it not?
It is. It is, and I know that's a fact for a lot of folks that are transitioning that have been gone, maybe deployed for 6-7 months or even longer, and then they come home and life changes over 6-7
Yeah.
months. It's different, and that is one thing I got to give it to Home Base. It's homebase.org. If anybody's looking to find more information about it, but it's basically Mass General and the Boston Red Sox have teamed together, and like Jacob, we worked really hard to try to get mental health and from basic medical help to many of our troops, and what it took us months to find, Home Base was able to do in about 2 hours.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow, really.
get somebody to talk to, get somebody seen. It was
Yeah.
really, really good. And the other part that I also took advantage of was another program called FOUR-Block, FOUR, block.org, and this is another organization that helps to put military members in front of industry to better help understand what what is industry looking for? How do you fit, bring your resume. First, it helps you develop a resume.
What was that for?
Sure. It's called Four-Block, F-O-U-R, block, BLOCK.org. It's a veteran-started business. They have chapters all throughout the United States, both virtual and in person. And we visited over a course of about 3 months, we visited over 10 different local industries, ranging from big, organizations that have upwards of 90,000 people down to smaller ones. And they would walk us through, here's what we're looking for. We would talk about interviewing skills. We would talk to the interviewer at a major company that, hey, I do all the interviews. This is what I'm looking for when I interview veterans. How to promote yourself, how to promote your skills. So they make you do give me your elevator speech. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was really, really helpful. It forced me to kind of get outside of really my little understanding of what larger industry does, and better understand how my skill sets could fit into really the workforce.
One of the co-founders of this show, Charlie Duquette, was a career specialist. It was a DevOps or some kind of crazy letters. But the first thing he'd do to a prospective candidate or a job seeker, give me your 30-second elevator speech.
Yep, it's important. It's hard.
You gotta have it. What are you good at? What have you done? And don't be a whatever, but just get it out there. You only get 30 seconds to make a first impression.
It is. And one of the things I was really appreciative of is a lot of these organizations helped me to define what success is. If you look at social media, if you look at the news, success is probably defined in one way. But that is not necessarily your own personal definition of success. And it's different for everybody. But I think one of the most important things you could do is understanding, what values are important to you, which are all these organizations will kind of walk you through the process of finding that, where you want to put your efforts and where you want to put your energy. And most importantly, what does success look like? Because there's one thing that I've learned through transitioning is nobody really cares what you do afterwards. As long as you're happy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that most people care about is, are you happy? Do you enjoy what you're doing? Where you work, how much money you make, whatever. That's all.
It's all relative.
But think about it. So you spent 25, 30 years in doing something, and that provided the meat and potatoes for your family. And why would you go and say you hated it, but you stayed? Why would you then, in your next chapter in life, go something that you hate and do it?
You don't have to.
You don't have to. And
No.
a lot of guys don't understand. They think they have to.
No.
And you have
No.
to explain that you don't have to. Now you can go do what you've always wanted.
can.
It might just be working in a bookstore. It may just be the greeter at Walmart. Whatever it is,
It is.
it's success.
And it's going to, the choices, there's so many choices. It might feel paralyzing at first.
Right.
To figure out answering that question, what do I want to do? But
Well, I think that you have to redirect that question every 4 or 5 years.
you do.
Because you change, the world changes.
Yeah, your
and,
needs change.
Holy moly, it's going with AI now, and where's everybody going, and what kind of career choices do you make? And I just feel that instead of looking like our parents did, and they looked at 40 years in the same job. Jenny, you just left a 40
left
year
my job of
year
40
Yeah,
career.
4 years.
But that's not the norm.
No.
There's not many companies that are around 40 years.
No, that's what we're
There's
seeing.
not industries that are around 40 years.
No.
So the only people that still alive is people that make peeps and and chewing gum. What's left? Everything's different.
Hey, if we could pivot just before we go real quick. Are you running coffees down on the Cape? I know we run these weekly coffees at some of the American Legions or the Council on the Agents. Is there anything in your area on the Cape that you're doing?
I can't speak to that. I know it's out there. I
Okay.
was very surprised on Cape Cod how much veteran support there is, and that's another
That's a
reason we
lot.
wanted to
Huge.
stay.
It's a huge
have
veteran
a huge
population out
amazing.
there.
And
Yeah.
it's amazing. So I'm sure that is.
Okay.
But I can't answer that.
Okay,
right
I'm
now.
just
Yeah.
curious.
But the other thing
I
too, I
never
think of,
found this one.
It's how you find your tribe, by the way.
Yes.
it's like how you find your tribe. And I think if you start asking the questions, you will find it.
Yes.
Like you will find out where these organizations are.
And
Yeah.
again, in Massachusetts, we're the only state in the country that by law has to have a veteran service officer in every city and town over 15,000.
Yeah.
12, 15,
12
15.
Every town
Yeah.
has one. That's
That's
what's
Yeah,
amazing.
and if you don't have the population, they'll combine 2 or 3 towns. And that's been on the books, well, 115's been on the books since Civil War, but the VSOs have been on the books a long time.
For the veterans who haven't contacted their VSO, please do. It's worth your
And that's the
time.
veteran
Yeah.
service officer in every city and town. Call a town hall, city hall.
Town hall.
Ask for your veteran service officer and you'll get connected. And by the way, if you're not feeling well this week and you really need to talk to someone, make sure you dial
988.
988.
988, the number that we, the Wolfie, even Wolfie and I can remember 988. The other,
And you were right, it just celebrated 3 years.
Yeah,
Three-
3 years.
On the 16th, it was 3 years.
3 years of helping how many people, how many veterans to decompress a little bit. But at 988, it's not just Greg and Wolfie making jokes and
Right.
telling you little
Answering the
stories.
phone.
It's trained counselors that are there to really help you and to advise you and mostly just to listen.
To listen.
Just to listen, like you guys do to your newly transitioning out. You listen to them
Yes.
and try to ask them, what do you like to do? What do you
Yeah.
want to do? And I would like to invite both of you guys back. This is terrific having you in tonight. In spite of the fact that little Sonny, we thank you
got
for
them out.
coming out.
We don't go
Yeah.
out when it rains.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. It's like me when I go out on the water. If it's too rough, I don't go down anymore. I just stay home.
Yeah, but we'd love to have you back on to talk some more transition. It's great, because that's just what I think the vets are all about, and that's what we want to talk to them about. So
Happy to share. Like, we're certainly not experts, but we're happy to share our experiences. And
that's what it takes.
if one person can learn something from what we went through, we'd be more than happy to help.
That's all it takes, and we bless you we thank you for having the courage to serve for so long and to take your families around. That was an extreme sacrifice for your families to tag along with wherever you went. So be safe, and we can't wait to have you back in. So
Thanks, Greg. Thank
and
you,
let us know if you have any exciting things. You know, whether or not you're scheduled to come in, doesn't matter. Call in, come in, just walk in. We'll always give you
Thank you.
5 minutes to talk. So, folks, that's about it for tonight's show. We thank you. Next week, we have the CEO of Volunteers of America coming in. So, the big week.